Moving on to our relationship discussion this morning, we are joined by Ola Soetan. He is a marriage and relationship coach, public speaker, and a writer with a community of online followers. To him, he offers relatable and practical marriage hacks for couples. And today we are talking about things that men need to consider before getting married. Are you a man? Are you still single? This discussion is for you, so you need to tune in right now. You're very welcome, Ola.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, a lot of people settle down for different reasons, including the male folks as well. And so let's talk about those things that men should consider before getting married.
All right. So just like we said, I mean, before we came on live, first of all, the men that we're talking about are men who are ready to get married. So it's not just every man out there. It's for men who are ready to get married, and also men who want to be intentional about their marriage, who want to be intentional about the quality of man that they want to be in their marriage. So those are the people that would pay attention to the things that we want to say. So, I mean, first of all, because of the requirement of marriage, because of the demands that marriage put on you, it is necessary and important that you are mentally, capable, you're mentally stable, you're mentally ready. That's almost like the first thing that you need to have. You must be mentally fit because of the challenges that marriage, poses. And it's a fact, because it's not a life that you've lived before. You've lived all by yourself before, and now you're going to be having people, living with you. So you have to be able to deal with, issues of leadership, companionship, and stuff like that. So you have to be mentally, because most of the things, that's the understructure for your relationship, for your marriage. Most of the things that you're going to be, managing, I don't want to say deal, because most times it seems like, oh, are we going? It's going to be troublesome.
Is it a struggle?
Yeah, like a struggle now. So most of the things you're going to be managing is going to be falling down on your mental stability. So it is important that you're mentally stable, you're mentally okay for that, and you're not coming into it with some form of trauma, with baggage
from the past,
and so that has to be sorted out before you proceed. And saying that marriage is an emotional affair. It's a love affair. So you have to also be emotionally intelligent. All right. So because you're going to be relating with your partner, and basically the only thing that can drive that relationship better is love. Okay, so if you are not really emotionally intelligent, there's no way you'll be adequately emotionally available for your partner. So, there will be that deficit in the relationship. Do you want me to go on?
Yeah, so I'd like to ask, as a man, because I'm going to make this personal now.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've been married for 9 years, right? Before you got married, at what point did you get to in your life where you're like, I am ready to get married?
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, so, for me, for a very long time, I could say probably at the age of 15, I've started thinking about marriage.
15?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Okay, so what happened is, my parents were divorced. So, it was around the age of 10. But I enjoyed our family, the little period of time that we spent together. So, it was very beautiful. I felt secure. It was the happiest moment of my life, if I look back. And I thought to myself that, wow, I've lost this. It would be a very nice environment or something really nice to create for another person to enjoy, because I felt so good in it. I'm like, I'd like to recreate this experience for someone else. And I think that this is how children should be raised, all right? This is the kind of home, this kind of environment. Because I experienced it, so I started nurturing that in mind. Like, man, I would love to have this. So I started considering a lot of these things. Like, oh, if I am going to have this kind of home, create this kind of environment for, that
your children and people can
grow
live
in,
and
can
thrive
live in and thrive in, exactly. Okay, so what would be required of me? So I started thinking of the kind of person I have to be, and then the kind of person that I have to create that with. So I need to, define who I am and who is going to create that experience, who is going to understand this vision with me. So it started for me, at that age. So I could say for the next 10 years of my life, I started working towards it. So, at the age of 25, I felt like, yes, I'm ready. And I was in an engagement at the age of 25. Okay,
oh.
Yes, I was in an engagement at the age of 25. However, it didn't lead to marriage eventually.
Okay.
But I was close to it. I got married at the age of 30 at the end of the day. But I was close to it. I knew what exactly I wanted. So.
What you just said now is quite profound, because even people who come from dysfunctional homes and also learn that, okay, regardless of where you are from, you can still create that future that you want.
Yes, exactly.
There is that perception and that norm right now that a lot of young guys don't want to settle down. A lot of young guys are afraid, are scared to get married. I have friends, friends who don't want to get married right now because they're like, every woman right now, every young girl right now just wants someone who's financially stable. And mentally, they are not, they're only ready to welcome someone who's ready to build with them. Not just come and live with them. What do you have to say to that?
This is a very disappointing thing, because, even when I scale things, I don't put some in that's why I mentioned initially that the first thing to start with, the understructure, is your mental stability. Because when we talk about finance, it's probably not stable. It's not something, anything can happen when it comes to finance, and it's going to fall on. In fact, it is how mentally stable you are that will determine how financially buoyant or how financially well you would do. Okay, so it's so disappointing that people always put finance forward.
First.
And talking about a man and also women, it's a disservice to you and to your relationship or to your marriage if you're putting finance first. There's so many other things that you need to place first, because at the end of the day, I've had clients that they have, when we talk about being financially really capable and able to do stuff, they have that, but they still have issues. All right, so apart from that, they still need to come back to addressing some of these other things, issues, even when you are already financially capable. What about I heard this part of the conversation you guys are talking about. What about being physically fit? When we talk about physically fit, talking about you physically fit, your health,
your mental health and your health,
and you even being physically available. Because that's another thing. You don't want someone who will be married to you and you don't see them in 3 months, in 9 months, everywhere. Because you have everything, but it's not physically available. So those are things you need to consider, So, it's quite disappointing when you want to. Marriage is not supposed to be an escape route out of anything. Like, let me just get married.
Use it to get.
And I'll get out of.
All right. Thank you so much, Ola. This has been quite an insightful conversation this morning. I'm hoping that someone watching right now who is a man is listening and is like, okay, well, I've been able to learn one or two from this conversation. We'll continue sometime next week as well, right? Great. All right, we have to go on a quick break now. People, Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Stay with us.